Hey, everybody, welcome on back. It's the You Gotta Try This podcast with myself, Large, and with Ian on the ones and twos. We've been so goddamn lucky to have a bunch of great guests lately and a bunch of places that have been willing to do some outside content with us as far as short form video and just restaurant visits and stuff. Kat's a perfect example from last week. This week's just me and Ian. I think it's one of those things where we should kind of catch up because we've been moving around the country pretty much, and I don't know. I think it's going to be good just kind of catch up a little bit. Is that right?
Little throwback for our Barstool Finance listeners, if we still have people who remember that.
Yeah, that's right. That was big for us for a while. I will start by saying that we appreciate all the 5-star reviews that we've been getting from you guys just about on all platforms, comments, likes, all that kind of stuff. And obviously, questions are a big part of any podcast. Can we do that thing that KFC Radio, now that they're gone? I know we had said something about them very kind. We were very kind words with KFC last time that we were together, Ian. Is there anything we can steal from them, since you used to listen to it, that we can like blatantly steal too? Because that's not frowned upon here at Barstool, by the way.
No, and the format of calling in has been that existed before podcasts even. So
right,
and I think we could talk to maybe tech guy Andrew and see if we could figure out a voicemail system of our own.
Yeah, because like super producer Brendan, right?
Or maybe we could talk to him. Yeah, I could have his number.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like him a lot. Yeah. Brendan Clancy is the brains of the Clancy operation. I love to shit on Kevin for no reason. Kevin's a good friend of mine. But yeah, I'd love to get to a point where we can kind of do that voicemail thing.
Brendan Clancy, by the way, the godfather of podcasting at Barstool Sports.
Yeah, my first day here, I was sitting in between Kevin and Brendan. And Kevin had all the, wacky stuff that people have on their desks here. Brendan, his brother, who was the original producer on KFC Radio, had just book after book after book researching podcasting and editing and cutting and all that stuff. The guy was really dedicated, or still is, it's not like he's dead, dedicated to the work. And it was a pleasure working with him when we were doing Barstool Finance for All. He was part of the family office when we were investing money and all that kind of stuff. So I have some wood to chop with him. I think it'd be kind of cool if we do set up one of those voicemail things. And, with AI, how it is now, it should be kind of easy to, if I'm confused on whether or not I'm beating off to a video game, it should be easy for us to get some voicemails up in the air. But until then, do you have any kind of questions for us from any of the comments?
We have a 5-star review from Apple Podcasts from Mike AG 96.
Okay.
I love the show, as my wife and I love to travel and have always tried to take the kids different places and get them to try different things.
Okay.
We have 3 boys, all in high school. Pray for us. My question is, we took them to New York City a few years ago when the oldest was 11. They've always been adventurous. Where, if you were from a smaller area, would you take your kids to experience different foods in New York? Love hearing about places like Spumoni Gardens and Roland Roaster and places like that. Would have loved to have known about that when we went with the kids when they were younger.
Okay, I do have an answer for this, and I get them. So 3 kids in high school. I'm kind of like that. I'm 1 kid in high school, 2 kids in college. I've always 2 in high school, 1 in college, 2 in high school, 1 in middle school. So I'm kind of grouped together. My kids are 3 years apart. Oldest 3 years down. My middle 3 years down. My youngest. So I know what he's talking about. And he's right. Like hearing about South Brooklyn and doing like a quick South Brooklyn tour with a bunch of teenagers now would be extremely cool. Hit Roland Roaster and Randazzo's and Brennan and Carr and Totono's and Joseph Avenue U in my old neighborhood. But sometimes people don't like to get all the way out to Brooklyn. So it's one of those things we wanted to do, Ian. We wanted to do something where we literally dropped a pin somewhere in New York City and people can just go to where that pin is. And I will tell you, if you wanted to go to, I guess, the East Village kind of alphabet city-wise, I don't know if it's out yet, but I did a breakfast sandwich at CMB Cafe, which was right next to Tompkins Square Park. So listen to me. So Tompkins Square Park is, just one of these generic parks here in New York City. If you go there late enough at night, you can buy good drugs. If you go there early enough in the day, you can take good pictures. But in and around Tompkins Square Park is also that Danny and Coops that does the sexy cheesesteak with the guy, Bradley Cooper. There's the candy store, I think it's called, where you can get a great egg cream and then C&B Cafe, where you can get a great breakfast sandwich. It's one of those things where you can drop a pin, and within a block either way, you can basically eat for the day. So I think that's kind of a good idea for a guy who's in this situation. But an even easier answer, if they just want to try a bunch of stuff in New York, is maybe do one of these food halls. Like there's a place called Mercado Little Spain, and it's over by where I get into the Lincoln Tunnel. Have you been here?
Me and Roan went there when we visited Hudson Yards,
Yes.
I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So you're kind of over in that area. So let's call it, what would that be, 9th Avenue? So 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th Avenue? Yeah, so 10th Avenue, right before I turn into the Holland Tunnel. So 10th Avenue, and let's call it 30th Street. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. There's Mercado Little Spain, but I'm talking about any of the food halls because there's also like the Urban Hawker. Remember when I did the review of the Crispy Pata at Tradicion?
Tradicion.
Yeah, so that's in one of those food halls that's up by Rockefeller Center, right? So it's in that like Midtown and it's bustling. So you can see all these food halls that are in New York. I don't have to go and Google it for you and see what neighborhood turns you on the most. So at least, you know, oh yeah, I am going to go to Rock Center. There I can go to Urban Hawker on 50th Street, go in there, and everybody can try something different. And then there's always some sort of cool and different dessert at all these places, which brings everybody together at the end of the meal. So if your kid's like, I don't want a crispy pig foot, but I want to try this. And then at the end, you all have the same like papaya ice cream. I think it's a home run. So if you can't find that perfect block where you can do a couple of restaurants in a row, I don't know how much kids eat or if they're a little bit, you know, where their palates are. I think if you do one of the many food halls here in New York, and some are better than others, obviously you'd have to do a little bit of legwork on that. But I think Mercado Little Spain is a good place to start. I think Urban Hawker is too, up in the 50s. So that might be, you know, Moynihan Food Hall I think is pretty good also. So I think there's a bunch of places where you can get a lot of bang for your buck under one roof without worrying about them being all over the fucking place. And they can have a little bit of freedom going from stall to stall. And hey, I just tried this, I just tried that. I do food halls myself. When I just did one in Nashville when I was down there. I did the one of the food halls down there. I think it's like I just did one in Chicago. It was around the corner from where we were staying. So I think it's one of those ones that's a quick and easy fix and probably the perfect answer to your question. I killed that one, Ian. There it is. You know what I mean? Honestly, I think if you're going to ask for a perfect answer, that's the one. And speaking of one, let's talk about Fox One for 1 second. On Fox One, you can stream your favorite live sports so you never miss those "did you see that" moments. That means Fox NFL Sundays, college football Saturdays, the MLB postseason, all in one place. I got very afraid when we decided to cut our ties with cable. We were paying for so many different streaming services that he's like, I don't know what we're doing with the basic cable anymore. So when we got rid of that, I don't know. I didn't want to let go, but Fox One kind of filled that need for me all over the place. It's the perfect one for me to have at my house. It has everything that I need. It's built for the live, edge-of-your-seat plays, jaw-dropping highlights, the kind of moments that make you shout in your living room like you're at the stadium. It's sports, it's news, and it's entertainment, all streaming live the way it was meant to be watched. It's also the best way to stay locked in on your action, whether you're sweating your fantasy matchup, tracking a parlay, or just riding the chaos live as it happens. So you can start your 7-day free trial today. Offers are subject to change. Go to Fox One for complete terms and conditions. All right, so we're moving along. That was a great segue, by the way. That was the perfect one or something like that. That was a really good segue. So I had mentioned that Ian and I had been traveling around. You had just did a West Coast trip. And I think it's very apropos that you did a West Coast trip because whenever I tend to mention a chain restaurant on the podcast and we clip it out, it does really well. People had hit me about Texas Roadhouse. By the way, everybody loves Texas Roadhouse. This isn't a hidden gem that I thought I came across. I will say I was disappointed when I went to Longhorns or Outback or Ponderosa or one of the other ones. So like I said on the last podcast or a couple of podcasts ago, I was pleasantly surprised with Texas Roadhouse. And I've got so many welcome aboard, Large. And you know who the number one guy who hit me? Coach Doug's. Coach Doug's is, for people who don't know, Coach Doug's was a fictional football coach who Dan had thought up during the pandemic, who had a striking resemblance to a gentleman down in Florida. And so we basically hired him to come up and play this fictional football coach role. And he was up here for a while, did a bunch of content with Frank. He fought in Rough and Rowdy. I consider him a friend of mine. I talk to Coach every now and again. Obviously, his real name isn't Coach Doug's. And he's a Texas Roadhouse fanatic. So I almost feel like I'm a closer friend with my already close friend, Coach Doug's, after doing that. So I don't know, another shout out to the fact that Texas Roadhouse seems to be bringing people together.
It's one of those things where the comment section, they bring in like their fandoms into they're like, oh, they're talking about Texas Roadhouse. The Texas Roadhouse guy is Doug's.
Yes.
And then you were talking about the Tuna Cup with Brian Baumgartner. I don't know if you were looking at the comments of that one. Everyone was tagging Joey Cold Cuts, which...
Who's Joey Cold Cuts?
Oh, gosh, Large. If you watch the Internet Invitational, you would know who Joey Cold Cuts is.
I did not see. I was saving it. I'm sorry.
He's a Bob Does guy. He's one of the main guys of Bob Does.
Wait, Bob Does, is that the...
Robbie Berger.
Yes, I like him a lot.
Yes, so him and Joey Cold Cuts are in conjunction doing content together almost all the time. And supposedly Tuna, he had it on the golf course one time in a video, and I think Robbie Berger mercilessly made fun of him for it. I think that was the gist of the comment section.
Okay.
So it's just always funny to see what other, and we'll have to talk about that with Robbie Berger when we get him on, which we will one day.
I don't know if it's a one-day thing. He had said that he wanted to come on the show. By the way, very nice guy. Extremely nice guy. And I follow him. So I apologize that I don't know Mr. Cold Cuts, which by the way, Joey Cold Cuts is a great fucking name, by the way. So I want to have him on also. And I just haven't worked out the scheduling yet with him. I kind of let it die in and around the Internet Invitational because I didn't want to like really load on top of him. And he's opening up a bagel store down in Florida or something. Bagel aficionado.
I don't know if you remember, you did tell me to say something to him when I was there filming at the Internet Invitational.
Yeah.
So after I got done doing an ad read with him for social, I was like, by the way, I'm Ian. I work with Large, blah, blah, blah. Like, we got to get you on the pod. And he goes, no way. You got to try this, Ian. Put a pin in it.
Oh, that's great.
And I was like, he fucking knows.
Yeah. Oh, that's good because I'll fanboy off of him because, like I said, I can tell you exactly. He was going to bagel stores and he got so familiar with the guy behind the counter. I think it's down in Florida. That's where he's opening up his new bagel store. That's probably why I should have him in here to promote the new bagel store.
Bob.
Yeah. I got to do that. And like he got to the point with a guy where he'd go in there and order, something relatively regular. And the guy just gave him anything. So he's like, I went in there for an egg salad sandwich, and I got a turkey and pepper jack. But it was all so good that he didn't mind. So I guess stay tuned for that. I want to start the process because Adam Richman is said that he wants to come on. I'm a big fan of Adam Richman. Chef Petroni said that he wanted to come on. And then our guys from Brooklyn Roots had did some sort of book signing with him, and it dropped in his ear again. He's like, yeah, I'd love to do that with him. And Petroni is awesome. I'm going to pick it up again with Alex Guarnaschelli. She said she was traveling to pick it up after the new year. And then I'll probably pick it up with Robbie also after the new year. So we'll bring in a bunch of different people. But as we coast into the holiday season, which we're right in the middle of right now, I don't mind like taking a break and just kind of shooting the shit with you. You know what I mean? Because you hit me. You're like, Large, I'm in San Fran, which I knew you were, because you were filming Rat Race, and which won't come out for a couple of weeks or months.
Correct.
Okay. So Rat Race.
It'll come out around the Super Bowl.
Okay. Rat Race is a piece of content that we do here at Barstool. I think this is going to be the third or fourth iteration of it.
Maybe fifth.
Is it the fifth? I did the first one, Rat Race New York. I have the dubious distinction of being the first person kicked off of Rat Race in the very first thing, and I've never been invited back. It's run by Chris Klemmer. Klemmer is another guy, very quirky eater. I think Ken Jack had told us about some of the quirks that Klemmer has. So we're going to have him on. I think maybe even as soon as next week, we're going to have Klemmer on. I just wiped something into my eye. So Ian was in San Fran doing Rat Race. Ian hits me and says, I'm in San Fran. Where do I have to go? You're the food guy. Like you said to me, where should I go? So right away I said Leopold's, because Leopold's was my old stomping ground. It's a German restaurant in San Fran. And I used to go with a good buddy of mine, Joe Gray. Joe Gray is still out in San Fran. I speak to him not too often. He just sent me something today because somebody put a urinal in their house and I had a bunch of urinals in my house. But Joey and I had worked together on Wall Street. And like I'm telling you, if we had did something, the top 5 people from history that I wanted a dinner table. And so I threw out all these big names like Teddy Roosevelt and Andre the Giant. But Joe Gray should have been on that list too. He's one of those guys. So you had driven by Leopold's. You sent me the picture of the big plate glass window out front. I had pressed my naked ass cheeks. Did I tell you this? So when I did it, I was so drunk, I inadvertently didn't realize that because it was warm out, that I was also pressing the back of my ball sack against there. So I was bulldogging a full fucking restaurant of people. And listen, I'm not saying that I'm packing a heater down there, but I do have majestic balls. And as I get older, they get more and more pendulous. So I'm proud of what I left on the window. And there were no kids there or anything like that. And it was done in a drunken haze years ago. But it was with Joey. We were drinking those boots filled with beer. And I'm going to tell a story about Joe before I go. Joe Gray has one of the greatest holiday traditions that I've ever seen. And for people who are married and have in-laws and all that kind of stuff, you know that somewhere along the line, you're going to be at a family party and you're going to have like a brother and a brother-in-law and a nephew and all these guys who are just bored out of their fucking minds and you don't mind spending time with them. So Joey had developed this one word. It's called time check. So he'll be at the party and he'll be like, time check. And then every guy there will know what he means. They go right down to the garage. He has like, most people have those extra refrigerators in their garage. And he keeps a bottle of booze in the freezer with 5 or 6 shot glasses. And you pick the booze. I think he does like a Baron Jaeger or something like that. And they all just pour one shot. Boom. And then they take it and they go back upstairs to the party and hang out with the family. And if the fucking party starts to get even more, time check. They go back down, bang a shot, talk about, can you believe what Aunt Susie just said? And so some family events are a 3 time check event. Some family events are a 12 time check event. And somebody inevitably pisses themselves before the cake comes out. And I love that tradition. And you're going to need this. If you want to stay married and happy and go to family parties forever, you need something where you can just get away for a little bit, whether it's a cigar, and a cigar sometimes is a longer process, but a time check, a quick shot with the boys down there and you're all in it together. I recommend it to everybody. And it's Joe Gray is the reason that I have it. But so Leopold's, Joe Gray, I'm moving past that. While you were down there, I said, if you don't want to go to one of these restaurants, why don't you give me an update on In-N-Out? Because I had said to Johnny Novo, who, by the way, is branching out now. He stopped the rotisserie chicken for 2026. He's going to be doing some other stuff. Make sure you're following Johnny Novo. Very nice.
Johnny in Motion.
Johnny in Motion. That's right. Yeah. So I said, why don't you check out In-N-Out? Because I had said to Johnny Novo while he was here that I like the burgers at In-N-Out more than I like the burgers at Five Guys. That was the statement I made. Some people took umbrage with it. Some people were on my side. You just went to In-N-Out 3 days ago. Can you give me an up-to-date review of what In-N-Out is like? And if you can, have you been to Five Guys lately?
Yes.
So
there's one right next to the office.
It's 1 block away. Give me an unbiased comparison. Just the burgers. We're not talking about the fries here. That's an important distinction because I think In-N-Out fries are mid at best. Although I'm not overly crazy about Five Guys fries either. It's just there's a lot of them. So tell me what you think of Five Guys versus In-N-Out.
I would say Five Guys burger is much worse than In-N-Out's burger.
Much worse.
Worse. And especially if you consider price in the factor, that even makes it even more in In-N-Out's favor.
Not a flex, but I typically don't. But I did notice that the increase in prices. I actually have something on the rundown we get to this week.
Not that I care about price either, but it's hard not to notice when I check out at In-N-Out, it's $25, and when I check out at Five Guys, it's $25. When I check out at In-N-Out, it's $11.
Wow. That's something else.
So not like, again, don't really care about price, but it's hard not to notice that difference.
No, I think it's worth mentioning.
It's also worth mentioning that I do So the way I order my burgers, it's probably worth mentioning.
Oh.
This might, I have to say this or else.
Double animal style? That's what you should say.
So,
What do you do?
okay. So
You're fucking disgraceful.
So at Five Guys, I usually just do plain double hamburger with bacon.
No cheese.
No cheese.
No
sometimes if I'm feeling adventurous, I'll be like one slice of cheese. Like, because if you put cheese, they'll give you 2 slices for the 2 patties. Too much cheese.
Okay.
One slice of cheese.
I don't agree with you, but I'm saying okay.
You don't have to. You're not going to agree with any of this.
Okay.
I'm just warning you.
Okay.
The first night I went to In-N-Out, because I went twice, I got animal style fries and an animal style double.
There you go. And
I got back to my room. I couldn't even, I looked at it. I couldn't even take a bite. I was like, there's just too much shit going on.
Why are you moving it? So you're not eating in the place?
No, it was, to be fair, it was packed and our hotel is right nearby. We were just walking out to go grab it and come back to the room.
Okay.
So no, we were not eating it in the place. So yeah, the animal fries just looked like it was just so much going on.
Too much for you. Okay.
Covered in shit. Like they look kind of soggy. The fries. So I was like, you know what? The shake was good. I had a shake too. Shake was good. So I was like, you know what? Just chalk this up as an L. Like I'll come back tomorrow and order it the way I like. Because I thought I could do it and just be a man and order it the animal style way with all the sauce and lettuce and toppings. And I was like, who am I kidding? Like, I'm going to hate this. This is going to...
You got ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second night I go back, get it just plain double with cheese with normal fries.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm like, all right, this is where I really can make my judgment. The burger was phenomenal. The bun just being so, like, had a crunch to it. I was blown away by the burger.
Okay. The bun had a crunch to it. Okay.
Yeah. For whatever. I might have just got
some structure to it.
Might have had a good location or something, but the edges of the bun were nice and golden brown, crisped up.
Love it.
Yeah. So couldn't be more complimentary about the burger.
Can you say with authority that
it is the best fast food burger?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we ever have to deal with superlatives like that. But if you do a head to head, because Five Guys is known to have a quality burger. I think people do tout maybe the quality of the meat or something. And because the meat is such high quality, as opposed to maybe the pink slime that you get at other bigger chains and something like that, that's what justifies the higher price point.
And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it some more, you know what I don't like about Five Guys that doesn't happen at In-N-Out? At Five Guys, they'll jam your burger into like a tinfoil thing and just like squish it up, and it's just, when I get it or out of the bag, it's just like
aesthetically, it doesn't look as good. It
doesn't have the half burger sticking out of the paper wrapping. Like it's just in tinfoil.
Right. All right. So then you're saying aesthetically, In-N-Out over Five Guys. You're saying taste wise and presentation. Also, aesthetically would be the presentation. Taste wise, you're also In-N-Out over Five Guys. Is there any aspect of Five Guys that you enjoy more than In-N-Out?
So I was like,
Five Guys, I think, has good shakes as well, don't they?
Yeah, you can't beat a Five Guys shake.
Yeah, Five Guys.
Hard to beat a Five Guys or a Shake Shack shake.
Right. Okay, I can agree with you with that. Yeah.
Some people really like the fries at Five Guys. They like the fact that they get it piled on. I like the fact that it gets piled on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big soggy fry guy.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, but it's like real potatoes. It's not just like that. I like the fake shit. I like the fake McDonald's shit.
We had talked about it when somebody had sent in a letter asking me why are Irish chips, French fries, not as crispy as what? And I said the average McDonald's has 19 ingredients in their French fries or something like that, whereas the average French fry in Ireland has 3: potatoes, oil, and salt or something. And even the McDonald's over in Ireland, I think, has 5 as opposed to 19. So there is something to be said about whatever genetic engineering they're putting in some of the fast food fries that are making them that crispy type thing. One of the things that I really agree about with Five Guys more so than Shake Shack is Five Guys does offer malt vinegar for your fries. It goes against, it's counterintuitive to what I'm saying about a crispy fry because you're dousing it with nothing's as liquidy as vinegar. It doesn't have any viscosity like a ketchup or a mustard or a mayo or anything like that. So you do swim in them, but I'm such a vinegar freak that I love that. So I would give the edge on fries to Five Guys, but I just enjoy the burger more at In-N-Out. Both looks. And here's another tip for everybody. Can I say this real quick? I had seen a podcast. It was two Spanish guys. It wasn't a podcast. It was just a clip from a podcast or a conversation. If I could remember their names, I swear to God, I would tell you. I just didn't write it down. This one guy said, In-N-Out, they give you that paper wrapping, that collar for it that all the burgers are wrapped in, and it's nice and pretty on the outside. He said, though, because they keep the burger upright, a lot of the juices and the flavor kind of fall backwards into the wrapping. So this guy said the move at Five Guys is to take it out of the wrapping, turn it around, put it back in the wrapping, and eat the ass first. And that's how he put it too. Eat the ass of a In-N-Out burger first, and then some of that flavor is then going to come down to the original top, which is now the bottom, and you get a better experience. I know that sounds like nitpicking and kind of silly. I will never not eat. I will eat the ass of an In-N-Out burger every time I go to In-N-Out now.
That is a great tip, and I'll be using that. Maybe not so at In-N-Out because it's not here, but Shake Shack.
They do the paper too, right?
You get a Shake Shack burger, and it's sogging wet, the paper it comes in, the amount of like grease and stuff that comes out of it.
Right. Yeah. So that's another little tip. So just a confirming tick, like we don't just throw stuff out here. We're trying to come up with empirical evidence and doing actual channel checks or whatever the hell you want to call it. And I had my best guy on it, even though, I don't respect his palate too much. I'm using him out of pure desperation and to come to the conclusion that I might be right. And that In-N-Out has a better burger than Five Guys.
By the way, I think you said you like Five Guys fries, or no, rather, you said In-N-Out fries are better than Five Guys fries.
No, I would say because the malt vinegar. Five Guys, In-N-Out, I'm sorry if I'm getting them mixed up, so I'm going to slow it down. In-N-Out has the crinkle cut, correct? Don't they have the crinkle cut fries? There's nothing overly special about them. Five Guys has more of those like fresh cut potatoes. It looks like it was just run through one of those French fry presses and then deep fried in the peanut oil or whatever they use, heavily salted and thrown into a cup and overflowed into a bag. I love the fact that I could put a little malt vinegar on them. So that's what gives me the edge. But the edge is more from the condiment than the fry itself. I don't normally judge fries because I'm not a huge French fry guy. I honestly, I'd rather get two burgers. You
mentioned two burgers.
I'd rather have two burgers than a burger and a large fry. Honestly, unless it's something that you're like, Lord, you got to try this fry, or is there something special? I sort of go the other way.
I think In-N-Out, and this might be controversial, may not be. I think In-N-Out has the worst fast food fry there is.
Okay.
In-N-Out's fry, it looked aesthetically fine. Like I was like, oh, these sort of look similar to McDonald's. Mm-hmm. Take a bite. Couldn't be a more underwhelming French fry I've ever tasted in my entire life.
And I think. And this is what makes markets. So go ahead.
Obviously, you hear what I'm saying about how I order my burger. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. The people who I was hanging out with, there was locals native to San Francisco, had the same take. They're like, "Yep, burger's good, fries aren't." That seems to be the locals' takeaway. So
when I say that's what make markets, is that I'm sure there are a lot of people who like Five Guys over In-N-Out, and God bless you. And I'm sure that a lot of what's baked into that opinion may or may not be the quality of the fries. And again, God bless you, but fries aren't a priority for me. So I'm going to just strict burger. Honestly, give me In-N-Out 9 times over 10 and I haven't been to In-N-Out in probably a year. I was out there with Canelo or something. Yeah. So it's been about a year or so that I've been to In-N-Out. I was at Five Guys 3 months ago with Annie and Finnegan, just like to go and grab something. And I walked away saying, I'm in absolutely no rush to go out back there. If I go back out west, I'm going to hit In-N-Out.
I will say each of those 3 burger places does something better than the other places. Mm-hmm. So Shake Shack has the best fries out of those.
Okay. And they're also crinkle cut.
In-N-Outs aren't crinkle cut. Shake Shacks are crinkle cut.
Okay. That's the
In-N-Outs
difference.
are more straight cut.
Okay. That's how forgettable they were to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
But nothing beats a Shake Shack fry.
Okay.
Nothing beats an In-N-Out burger, and you can't beat a Five Guys shake.
Right. So that's how you're pairing together your perfect fast food meal.
I think so.
Yeah. I might add that to the questions then. Can you Frankenstein?
Ooh, yeah.
But the only problem with doing that is that as soon as you say nothing beats a Shake Shack fry, everyone will be like, what about McDonald's? Like, I think the answer to everything will be like, I got to have McDonald's fry. I got to have a
well, that's why
Crunchwrap Supreme from.
I think you can group these fast food places more than just like calling them fast food. Like I said, these are more fast casual burger joints.
Yeah.
And you could throw in Whataburger, Smash Burger. There's plenty of those types of places.
Right.
And then you could do your more typical Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's. Like those are your typical fast foods.
Yeah.
And then you can compare the Mexican fast casual. You can do Qdoba, Moe's Southwest, Chipotle. So
yes, I can tell you right now, In-N-Out had a headline last week where whenever they're giving you your receipt, they've taken it out of their system to give, you always have your number. Your number is 13 and you wait there for your number. They no longer give out your receipt number 67 because college kids were coming in there waiting until, and then they'd order something on the 67, and then they'd all wait there until somebody comes over. 67 is ready. A 67, and they fucking go crazy. And so they decided to step on the fun there. I don't know how I feel about that. It seems like they're not going 6-7 and then doing like gang initiation golden showers or shooting up the joint. They're just kind of jumping around like assholes for no reason. Don't take that fun away from the fucking kids. It's stupid and it's annoying, but especially if it brings in I don't know, now I'm having conflicting opinions because if they bring 13 kids to go crazy over an order of one hamburger, it's not even cost effective for them. So maybe something happened that spurred them canceling 6-7. So if you go to, In-N-Out anytime soon and the person before you gets the number 66, you're getting the number 68 to avoid people from UC Santa Barbara, the banana slugs or whatever the fuck they are, going absolutely out of their mind when somebody says 6-7 out loud. Is that still a thing or are we past that?
It's slowly becoming over. Okay. I recently, I don't know if you saw the video of the Grinch who came up with the absolute counter to this and that can put an end to it for good.
What is that?
The caption was funny. It's like, we got them now. And some kids went up to the Grinch and were like 6-7, 6-7 to the Grinch. And the Grinch just went 8-9, 8-9.
Oh, really?
And the kids were just like, oh.
Yeah. I hate kids.
So if you're an adult trying to combat 6-7, just 8-9.
8-9. There it is.
Your kids will hate that.
Yeah, they absolutely will. My kids aren't too into it. Like Bridget gets me every now and again, the 15-year-old, but obviously the college kids don't really give a shit about it. I'm going to take a second here to talk about another product that I love, and that's Tony's Cajun Kick. This is by Tony Chachere's, which I have in my cabinet for all of time. This one's a little bit different. Less salt, more garlic, and a clean hit of heat. So it's Tony's Cajun Kick. And I put it on just about everything I eat now. It's a new blend based in the Tony's tradition. You can use it in place of salt and pepper. I tell people all the time, this is how I make garlic bread now. I make garlic bread with Tony's Cajun Kick. It's got everything that I need. So look for it at your local H-E-B, Rouse's, Associated Grocers, Associated Wholesale Grocers, and where I get mine, Amazon. Cajun Kick is currently only available in select stores in Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi, but you can meet the all-new Tony's Cajun Kick to turn up the heat and turn up the flavor. Cajun Kick brings bold spice, zesty garlic, and just the right burn to wake up anything on your plate. Shop now at CajunKick.com/barstool. So I gave you a lot of information there on this seasoning. So you can go to CajunKick.com/barstool and order it. You can order it off of Amazon, or if you're in Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi, you're going to see it on the shelves. And garlic, I put this thing on eggs now. I put it on eggs instead of hot sauce because it's almost more of a better distribution to have a seasoning as opposed to, hot sauce running all over the place. I'm a big fan. I think you guys would be a big fan too. So give Tony's Cajun Kick a shot. Go ahead.
I'd also sent you a picture
Oh yeah. So
When I got home.
Can you put that up on the video while we're doing this, or is that impossible?
I can do it.
Okay. So again, this shoots down the beginning of this podcast because I'm trying to tell you that I used Ian for a channel check, and then he gets home from San Francisco a day later. He shoots me a random picture. I'm at home with my family trying to spend some time, be a good husband, be a good father. All of a sudden, I get a bloop from Ian because he's on my. There's only 5, 6, so there's 6 people that they ring no matter what's happening. One of them's Dave. One of them's Annie, Mick, Finn, Bridget, and you. So you get this priority thing, and he abuses it because I pull up the picture. I'm in the middle of something. I said, oh shit, something must be going on. I look at it, and it's just this, it's just sad. I mean, I know it's popular to say, like, Ian, the planes are the German planes are no longer overhead bombing you. It's like you're in a basement in Dresden. It's just taco meat. Was it in the pan still?
Yes.
Yeah. So he eats it out of a pan, and then next to it is an abnormally large glass of milk. Listen, milk does a body good, helps bones grow, whatever the hell you want to say. Milk is wonderful, but man, it doesn't pair well with some of the stuff. And what else did you have next to it? Was it smiley fries? What the fuck was next to it?
They were poverty nachos.
Oh, the poverty nachos. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. You put some tortilla chips on a paper plate with some shredded cheddar cheese, and you popped them in the microwave, probably, right?
Not cheddar. There was Mexican style cheese.
Yeah. The Mexican blend, which one of them is cheddar or jack or whatever the hell it is. It's all the same shitty. And I mean, oh, you're doing it out of a bag.
Of course.
Good for you. Jesus Christ. And so anyway, he'd sent that to me like he was bragging.
But it was Sargento out of the bag, not Kraft or anything.
Oh, okay. That's where we're going to take a stand. Good for you. I had just gotten out of a restaurant to get home to my family. My buddy from college was in town, my buddy Scott and his wife Amy. So we had gone over to Coca-Doc, which is this new hot spot here in New York City, and they're known for their Korean fried chicken. So what they do is they'll give you 2 buckets. One bucket will have a bottle of champagne. The other bucket will have this twice fried cornstarch chicken with a bunch of different glazes, gochujang glaze. They do a soy garlic glaze. They do their original. Then they give me a bunch of little squeeze bottles to sort of dress up everything. And the squeeze bottles have like this honey mustard, but the mustard part almost had a Chinese mustard kick to it. There was a bunch of stuff going on. And they also have like a single nugget that they make that they put a huge quenelle, like a big dollop of caviar on. And I think the nuggets are like $30 a piece. So I'd gotten one for each person who was eating, and I tried it and I was disappointed. I'm not going to do you got to try this. So we won't do the review on it online. And the place doesn't need my business, obviously, because again, it's a tough table to get. But even for this gentleman who's coming in with his kids, they may see this, like the virality of this place, and be like, we should go there. We really weren't drinking, but I still spent about $400 on fried chicken between the 3 of us, and I'm not going back. So I go through all that. That was my experience for dinner. Honestly, that was my experience for dinner. I just gave you like the full rundown. And then the other guy, the peanut butter to my jelly, the yin to the yang of this food podcast, the only one at Barstool, sends me his comp, which I didn't ask for, and it made me feel good about paying $400 for mid-level fried chicken just to see that fucking slop that you make. You truly do eat to live. You do not live to eat like me. And that's the difference. You eat to live. You eat so you don't starve. And I kind of live to eat, which
I don't know, man, because if you see, if you watch me eat it, it doesn't look like I'm eating to live. I'm chowing down on this thing. This is like, it's not, I'm not going to call it gourmet, obviously.
Oh, please call it gourmet. Please. I mean, we'll get Chef Michael Ferraro back here to talk about it. Oh, you know what? I just got a text message earlier today from one of the guys when you talk about chefs and whatnot, people that we've had on. Eric Talercio, when we had him on, he hit me today. I'm going to bring you a ravioli tree for the holidays. And your street sign. Oh, there's a guy who I met while I was there. I can't stress to you guys enough. go to Talercio's, don't go to Talercio's. I really don't care. Find a place like Talercio's, though, and you'll be a better person. Talercio's fills that need for me. I love the place. I love the owners. But you walk in there, and Eric and his dad, they have a guy for everything. So depending on how long you stay, you can also have a guy. And we filmed there. You weren't there. It was Annie and I, because you were doing the Barstool Beach House. It was Annie and I filming there. And Eric's gun guy happened to be there from Middletown Guns and Ammo. Man, I hope I'm not getting that wrong, but it's in Middletown, New Jersey. Check these guys out, their website and stuff. I had gotten my shotgun license, but I had never bought a shotgun. So I said, oh, maybe I would do one through him. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. Come on down. I got a wide variety. And the guy does gun safety classes, both him and his wife. She does female gun safety. They got everything that you need. What is it? Middletown Guns?
Middletown Arms Co.
Middletown Arms Co. I follow him on social media, and the nicest guy in the world. And he was randomly out somewhere, and he saw there was this, I have no idea. They make street signs. So I think he had a street sign named for me to just put up in the office. I don't know if it says you got to try this or large. I can't remember it right now. And so he was in the office with Eric and said, I got a street sign for large. So now Eric is going to come in. Yeah, I'll put it right there. Eric's going to come in and deliver a Christmas tree, a ravioli Christmas tree, and my street sign, which I can't wait. So go back and listen to the Talercio's episode if you haven't, if you're new to the podcast, or even some of the stuff that we did with him down at the beach house when I made the Kadick sandwich for him. Just a decent guy and a great family. And I got a gun guy now. So when he comes up, and believe me, I said to the guy at Middletown, I was like, you ever have any that fall off the truck that I could scrape the serial numbers off of? He's like, no, we're all on the up and up. I tried to get a fucking free illegal gun. So it's one of those places where when I go down the legal road, I think I'm going to go there.
But the only reason I sent you that text, that picture.
Why?
Is to piss you off.
Yeah. But I mean, I tell you what.
Did it work?
I wasn't having a great night before that. And then I was like, ugh. This is terrible. And it does. It shoots down everything we started this fucking episode with.
No, but here's the thing. I think in good faith, people have to know who's giving them the opinions.
Oh, you're saying, yeah. I agree with that too.
Because you can't just say, here's the guy reviewing In-N-Out without giving the other context of what he's eating for dinner on the other nights of the week. But,
okay. So you think that the people will, if somebody's listening to this right now, and I'm addressing the camera directly, if you're listening to this right now, and you think that your palate is closer to that of an adult, and then you hear that In-N-Out is better than Five Guys, then maybe you would take that as just an opinion that might be your own, that you want to develop on your own, right? Go and see for yourself, which I implore you to do. But also, if you eat like a kid who's late for school all the time on purpose, like Ian, and you concur with me that you like the In-N-Out burger better than Five Guys. So maybe that was a worthwhile thing that we did.
Yeah, and that glass of milk that I use, it's a lot of milk. I repurposed a protein shake thing.
Oh, okay. So it's like a NutriBullet or something like that, one of those things?
Because it's more volume, can hold more milk, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, sorry.
Go ahead.
I think we may have talked about this when I made the video of me eating the tacos. I drink all the milk at the end.
You don't drink during your meal,
right? Or
your
I might do half and half sometimes if I'm really thirsty, but usually I'll wait to the end and then just pound the whole glass of milk at the end. I did the same video. We talked about that video I made when
it went nuts.
Yeah,
that video did numbers, right? Just on your personal account.
Yeah. Did
we ever put it onto our account too? Just for the hell of it? Or was that before we started getting going?
We made the clip of it, yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't annoy me, but I have a couple of people that I know who I call them camels. They order a drink at dinner, like a soft drink, and they don't touch it until the end of dinner. I would not be able to go through a full meal without having a full drink of whatever you want to do, Pepsi or what. I don't care what it is. I'm not being biased here at all. I have to have multiple drinks while I eat. Honestly, it's a palate cleanser for me. I know I talk about Pepsi all the time, but I honestly need that. I'm not jealous of people who can camel it, and apparently you are, because milk brings nothing to the party for me unless it's a sweet. cookies, cake, a peanut butter and jelly with an ice cold glass of milk is one of the greatest things that you can make for yourself, particularly late at night. But I can't drink milk with a meal.
It was also just to let you know that like I'll tell you things and you're like, oh geez, and you like laugh and
I'm
like,
disappointed though.
No, but
Okay.
sometimes I don't know if you really understand that I'm being serious. Like it's sort of like when you're like, oh yeah, I put like mayo on aspirin.
Yeah. Like when I say, yeah.
I know you actually do that.
Yeah, I did it once. I put frosting on a fucking antibiotic because it was so big. I just did so I saved mayo on aspirin.
But yeah, so I just wanted to let you know that I'm out here. When I tell you I'm putting a whole pound of ground beef on the poverty nachos, that's what's happening.
It's a lifestyle for you, and I appreciate that. And you know what it is? It's no matter, like you're an adult now, right? You gotta stop eating like a kid. That's my whole thing. I think to make it to the next level, particularly with a lovely young lady, I think you have to stop eating like a kid. And before you rebut on that, there's a lot of kids who are going to start to have their own first jobs and whatnot. And what do you do for them? I say you use Cash App. For all the parents out there with teenagers, we know you're already trying to keep a million different things under control. Cash App is here to help make sure your teen's money and their spending isn't adding to that craziness. Cash App is designed to meet teens aged 13 to 17 where they are with intuitive educational tools. Available through sponsorship by an eligible parent or guardian, teens gain access to a personalized Cash App card that comes in different colors and patterns to fit their style, and the ability to instantly access money from family and friends. Cash App makes managing money feel easier and honestly just cooler than other options out there. The platform also has tools that can help teens develop real-world financial habits in a space that's safe and easy to navigate, all with your oversight and approval. If your teen's getting their first job, Cash App can get them access to their paychecks up to 2 days early and can help them achieve personalized savings they can set themselves all within the app. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use the code FAMILY10. That's FAMILY10, family10 in their profile at sign up and spend $5 and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial service platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Direct deposit and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. You're about to say something when I just called you an infant again?
And yeah, like you say, milk brings nothing to the table. I mean, it's a
building block of life. I get it.
It's the only thing at the table for me.
Yeah,
no matter it could be Chinese food.
Yeah, that's where we differ. I mean, I think that milk has a spot. You don't know what that spot is because it's in every spot. Milk and Chinese. People at home. If anyone's still watching this, God bless you. But is there something, like if you were to sit down to a meal and eat milk, are the majority of the people listening on my side and think that milk belongs at breakfast as a meal, dessert for people who don't drink like coffee and tea, like to have milk with any kind of cake, cookie, or pie is wonderful. And then the occasional more sweet than savory snack. That's how I feel milk should have. You're making Mexican food, you're drinking milk. You're ordering Chinese food, you're drinking milk. I think the majority of people will be on my side.
Italian food, pasta and pizza.
Really?
Milk.
You'll do that with pasta with like a tomato sauce, an acidic tomato sauce?
Oh my.
And you'll put milk right on top of it?
Oh my gosh. There's almost nothing better.
You shouldn't say, oh my gosh. You should say that with a certain degree of, like, you shouldn't have any pride in your voice. I don't think when you say that. You should have that with a certain degree of shame. This is the word I'm looking for, I guess.
There's few things that beat a good bowl of pasta with meat sauce and a large glass of milk.
So okay.
Skim milk too.
Skim milk. Oh, Jesus. Skim milk? Is that your thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather just have a half glass of milk. Everybody else here will say, I think nothing goes better with pasta than a glass of red wine. You know, or somebody who likes something sweet. I think that a soda goes great with pasta. I do. I like the sweetness that it contrasts with the the acidity of tomato sauce. But I can tell you on my list of things to drink during a bolognese, milk falls just below nothing. I'd rather go without anything. And then if I lost the bet, I would drink milk. Go ahead.
Now on the shame note, there is some shame to my milk game.
Okay.
I'm not I'm not the proudest milker out there.
Okay. We're calling you a milker now. I love that, by the way.
I mean, for lack of a better term.
Sure.
I don't do this in public ever. I will never order milk in public.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, good. So there's your shame.
This is at home.
Excellent. Okay. And is that because of me or just in general?
No, I learned very quickly you get made fun of.
Yes. Okay, good.
By my peers. Like it would be like after a basketball game, take the whole team to Applebee's. Like I think that was like the first time I learned. I like ordered milk and everyone's like, "You drinking milk right now?"
Whoever it was that did the Game of Thrones shame bell, we owe them a deep, a certain bit of gratitude. I will tell you that everything that we say is, and I think with food, it's important to talk about this. It's always a moving target. There are a lot of stuff that I used to love that I don't love anymore. And even doing this podcast for as long as we've been doing it, which hasn't been very long, I've already changed my palate a little bit. And I got a letter from a guy named Stevie Blue, who started it with "Love the pod with Eddie." And he did this. He said, "Deep dish. The arguments over deep dish won't end anytime soon, and I'm not here to promote it over what another region's pizza offers." Very good distinction right away by Stevie. He's not saying it's better in Detroit, New York, New Haven, all that stuff. What I will say, if it's a cold, miserable, snowy night, you know you're not leaving the house for the night. You got your hands on a show or movie you've been dying to watch. When the delivery guy shows up with a deep dish and an RC Cola, because Chicago's a big RC Cola place, which I think is kind of cool. It fits the mode there. So when the guy shows up with a deep dish and an RC Cola, tip him well, I agree, and know you're in for a great night. Side note, less is more on a deep dish pizza. I go with sausage and sometimes spinach, but always ask for well done. He's got a lot of tips in this. Best deep dish, I'm so excited. Best deep dish for me, Bert's Place, which is technically a pan pizza, and it's just outside of Chicago. Then he says Pequod's, Old World, and I have no shame in how much I've always liked Lou's, which is too commercial for some. And he's talking about Lou Malnati's, which I've had. It's probably the one that I eat almost exclusively. And then he ends saying, "Our baby just woke up from a nap. I'll get more thoughts to you later." Sitting down, now I don't know Stevie Blue at all. Honestly, I don't know him at all. I really like the way he put this together. And if you couple that with the way Eddie set me straight on deep dish while I was out there, and then White Sox Dave was like, "You have to go to Bert's also. Eddie, you got to go to Bert's also." And Bert's might be a little bit of a bastardized deep dish too. I think that by this time next year, Ian, I'm going to be a deep dish guy. I think I go in there with such a negative connotation to it, as when I asked the question to Eddie, "Are you embarrassed that your city is known for only a couple of foods and one of them is a food that nobody likes?" And he went, "No, what are you talking about, Large? We like deep dish. We just can't have it every day." And I think he's going to be spot on, and I can't wait to jump over and be team deep dish.
I can't wait for that too.
But never with a glass of milk. Don't even fucking say it.
No, I mean, it probably would go well, but obviously not around you.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had deep dish before.
Okay, so we should do that when we go to Chicago.
Never had it.
You and I should go to Pequot or to Bert's. We should do that and then do a review there. If it's good, you guys will see it. And if it's not, I'll shit can it along with the one I just did with Coca Duck. I hate throwing away reviews, but I can't in good conscience tell people, because that's out there forever. You can shoot the shit on a podcast about stuff and it sort of just kind of gets lost in the ether. And I don't want to put too much negative stuff out there. Just know that some of the stuff I shit can. One other thing I wanted to mention to you, maybe not one other thing, college football. I had to mute Notre Dame on my social media. Just it got too overwhelming for me. But you'd mentioned Chipotle just a little while ago. Did you see this? Chipotle picked a side on rivalry week, and it was the wrong one, kind of. When Caleb Downs, he's a safety for Ohio State, and he had put something on his social media about Chipotle, and in the
I saw the video. It was like a collaboration, and what the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, what Ohio State does.
One of the biggest college football rivalries. I think Auburn, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Army, Navy. I will say Army, Navy. And then there's everything else. Please don't come at me if you're a big Egg Bowl person or if you think, Lehigh, Lafayette. They're all fucking great. But I'm just saying, I think the big boys are that. Like it tears families apart. So what Ohio State does is a lot of times they put red X's over even street signs in town when Michigan week.
Over the M's.
Over the M's. So if you live on Maple, you live on Apple Street, Michigan week, and there's a big red cross over it. And they do it all over the place. So I think Caleb had done something with it, but it was on his page. It wasn't until Chipotle quote tweeted it and said, "It's time." And they crossed out the X's. Yeah, they X'd out the M in it. And I'm telling you, I think it's a bad fucking move. I think, from a marketing perspective, you can't, it's like they say, don't get political on a podcast because you're going to lose half your audience. And you're not going to make up that half of your audience with people who agree with you who don't listen to this podcast. I think the same thing with Chipotle. I don't think they're going to pick up more customers in Columbus. I think the people who want to go to Chipotle in Columbus, Ohio State fans already go once a week. If they're super consumers, they go multiple times a week. But losing that business in Ann Arbor by just putting out "It's time" with an X on the M in time, I think is a dumb fucking move. So much so that I put it in the basket of when is Chipotle going to do anything right? I mean, the way they've shrunk their portions, raised their prices. They had like that E. coli breakout and all that stuff. They do little things like this. Chipotle was top dog for me for a long time. I haven't been in over a year, and I'm in no rush to go back, and I am not a fucking Michigan fan. I went to Notre Dame, so Michigan is on. It's a very short list of teams that I hate, and Michigan's on it. But I think that college football, Chipotle picked a side, and it might have been the wrong one.
And not to get back into our Barstool Finance roots.
Go ahead.
Stock is down 50% in the last year.
Is it?
Chipotle.
I think Glenny Balls had loaded up on Chipotle when we first started doing Davey Day Trader.
Yep.
And for people who don't remember.
Because the lunch hour was coming up.
Yes, exactly. He was buying the stock because he was buying it at 11 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's like a bunch of lunch orders have been coming.
He's like, I think the lunch orders will come and this thing will pop. I was like, Glenny, when do you plan on selling it? Do you plan on selling it at 2 p.m.? He's like, no, I'm going to hold on to it. I'm like, do you think there's a lunch hour pop? And I think he made a bunch of money on that. Like, that was a great call by Glenny, which goes to show you, kid's a fucking closet genius, or maybe an outright genius, and I just don't see the forest for the trees. But God bless. I think he bought Shake Shack also and did pretty well on it. Glenny Balls, I miss him.
Yeah,
I miss seeing him around the office.
He wanted to buy Chick-fil-A too, but they were private.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he did. He's one of the great ones. I will tell you another thing. My wife and I are out at her holiday party. My wife works with this commercial real estate company. So we were at their holiday party down in the Lower East Side at one of those like second floor walk up sexy bars. And I was drinking like, I don't know, fruity drinks and stuff like that. I got a little bit ahead of myself. So we wind up stumbling into Woe Hops at the end of the night. So there's Hop Key and there's Woe Hop. We were closer to Woe Hop. So we jumped into there and man, that brought me back. You talk about places that you need to go to when you come to New York City. You go to one of these like basement Chinese places at around, Woe Hop used to be open very, very late. Now I think it closes at like 10. So we were there right around the time it was closing and it was still filled with people who were drunk from Christmas parties. It's never going to be the best Chinese food you ever had in your life, or at least I don't think it will be, but they do a couple of things very well. Hot and sour soup there is different. They have tomato in their hot and sour soup, which is a little bit different, but I kind of like the sweetness that it adds. They do a lemon chicken and an orange chicken, but I get the lemon chicken there and it's very, very good. Got roast pork chow fun and a couple other dishes, and it brought me back. It brought me back to being like late night, drunk, in Chinatown, and maybe I just bought a shitload of fireworks, and then I went to WoHop. It brought me back to being like a fat-faced kid with a bowl haircut. My Aunt Annie and Uncle Mike took me to Madison Square Garden to like Ringling Brothers, and on the way back we went to WoHop and had like fantail shrimp with oyster sauce or something. And you know, you can go around and try all these new places, like the one that I tried last night that I didn't like. Or you can go home and make prison meals, like the one that Ian had made for himself last night. But every now and again, you got to just untap that part of your mind that brings you back to like a simpler time. And WoHop is the place for me. But we were just speaking about it with the guy from Katz's. He's a Hop Key guy. And it's the same thing. Everyone... Like I'm telling you, the Talercio's thing, find yourself an Italian deli where you can get a gun guy. I don't know, like these places that you used to visit when you're a kid, one of my questions is, what do you wish you can get back? Think about the ones that you actually can get back and go to them. Man, it's a fucking great time.
We started on my West Coast trip to San Francisco. Just one last thing to put a bow in it. So Leopold's, you did recommend that German place, or I guess it's saying it's Austrian on Google, whatever. Their hours is tough to get there. They're closed Monday and Tuesday, only open at night. So I wasn't able to get there, but I was able to get to this place called Skomas.
What is that?
It's an Italian seafood place, real old school, like right in the Fisherman's Wharf on the water. Okay. It's a local, like the locals love it there. Waiters wear gloves. They memorize your orders. Don't write anything down.
I'm not a fan of that. I mean, there's no upside. Grab a fucking pen. I mean, okay, as long as they do it right, that's fine. But when they come and they don't get it right, I don't go nuts about them. I don't complain or anything, but there's no heroism involved to me that you're able to remember.
Usually you could sense a vibe on if they can do it or not. This guy, I didn't have any questions on if he would remember.
Oh, he's a professional?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll shut the fuck up.
I was trying to order all the fish on the menu, and he's like, hey, you're ordering too much. And I was like, oh, okay. He came back. I was like, listen, respectfully, I'm ordering all this fish. Like I was starving.
Oh, really?
I was starving. Ate all. It was unbelievable seafood place. This pasta was good. And
did you have any of their famous clam chowder?
I did.
The Skomas. By the way, I don't know Skomas. I've never been there. Would have been nice to bring back a T-shirt, but it starts off saying, "Try our famous clam chowder." How was
tried it. You'd be surprised by this. New England clam chowder is one of my favorite things on this planet.
And you know what the base of New England clam chowder is? Milk. That's cream, actually, cream and butter, but still, it's right up there.
And the oyster crackers that, like I was mentioning to you at Katz yesterday. Oh, don't even get me started on the Westminster oyster crackers.
Listen, we'll get back to having guests on and whatnot. I just want you to know that we were in Katz's, and there's Send a Salami to the Boy in the Army. This is where Harry met Sally. All these things, Katz's, that's it. Like they have that iconic sign where they'd ordered a sign, and the guy said, "What do you want to have on it?" And the owner said, "Katz's, that's all." And so the guy made the sign, "Katz's, that's all," underneath it. I mean, he just wanted Katz. But there's so many pieces of history on top of so many gigantic, just full briskets of pastrami and corned beef and full turkey breasts being handed over, and knishes and hot dogs and egg creams and all these things passing by that made me salivate and be jealous that I couldn't shove them in my jacket and leave. And Ian says, "Oh man, I wish I had that." And I turned around. I was expecting something delectable like I want. Honestly, I want to steal a salami off the ceiling. I want to steal some memorabilia. It was a box of fucking oyster crackers. Like it's very attainable. Like we talk about things you wish you can get back. You can get that for the first time. You could be swimming in oyster crackers, probably within 2 to 3 business days. If you want to, just like any pizza is a personal pizza. If you put your mind to it, I think it's one of those things where you could probably get that dream to come true.
If I had oyster crackers at the house 24/7,
you'd be a fat fuck.
I'd be so fat.
I hear you.
Oh my God.
Oh, I would love that if you got all fat and stuff like that.
And then the other.
So you did so tell me about
Skomas.
it.
I did the.
Wait, no. So you did the New England clam chowder. Then you did a bunch of fish, grilled fresh fish right out of
Yeah, did the halibut, the cod, the dole. I think it's called the dole, it was more of a local fish, and then. The salmon, the salmon.
And you ordered all that fish?
It was me and Devlin.
Okay.
But yeah, and here's the thing about fish dishes that I've learned.
Please drop me some knowledge about fish dishes, Ian.
I can't just order one. That shit's too small.
Okay.
There's not a single fish dish that I've ordered where I've been like, oh, yep, I'm full now.
Okay.
I ate a fish. Like, no, I need 2 pieces of fish.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I mean, when I go and I'm eating fish, I can, if I'm feeling a little lighter or feel like I want to eat lighter, I'll order some fish. And if I'm in a fish place and I feel like I really want to put it to me, I do like a fried combo. I can't stay away from fisherman's platters, whatever it is. This is the Captain Hook special or anything like that. By the way, we have another review coming up because I was at the Grand Central Oyster Bar. I had some friends in town. John and Susan. I have a lot of friends that come into town. So I took them to the Grand Central Oyster Bar because John is a huge oyster guy, and he just wanted to try the oyster stew there. I wound up doing a pan roast there, which is their oyster stew, basic cream and butter, clam juice, and then freshly shucked oysters in their oyster stew. And then the pan roast is the oyster stew poured over some toast. So there's like some soggy bread at the bottom, which doesn't sound as good as it is, and also mixed in with some sweet chili sauce. So it has like a little bit of a pink hue. And then you put the oyster crackers on and you go to town. It was very good. I could use some seafood right now.
I didn't do the oysters. I let Devlin go to town on those.
Oh, good.
He did the oysters Rockefeller, which I didn't even know that was a thing.
Okay. Yeah, I would tell you that I think that Devlin is he's one of my favorite guys to travel with, hands down. And when we do travel together, Devlin's one of those guys who will sometimes say, you know what, just order for me large. Like he's one of those guys that's like, and it doesn't, not in a way where he's putting pressure on you to like order correctly. He just wants to try it. He wants to try everything. So oysters Rockefeller is obviously his beautiful dish. So kind of broiled with the cream, Parmigiano Reggiano, and the spinach in it, right?
Yes. Yeah. Now I love ScoMo's. ScoMo's was great. I would go back to ScoMo's.
Okay.
Next day, I go to Fog House Inn.
Okay.
I will get the exact name of it right now.
Jeez, you had a nice little weekend.
My mom, well, it's freezing here, so
yeah, that's true.
Might as well stay warm.
I hear.
So my mom used to live out in California.
Did she?
By Palo Alto. So she actually had some recommendations for me.
Okay.
It was the Fog Harbor Fish House.
Okay.
On Pier 39. It was phenomenal. Like the miso, I got it was on the special menu. The miso glazed
cod, probably
salmon. Actually.
Oh, okay, nice.
It was just as good as the miso glaze, whatever you get at Nobu, if not better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I got to be honest with you. You're suspect to me. You know that, but I would like to go out there and try that just to
the swordfish,
either refute or not.
Whatever the swordfish had on it was
roasted peppers, red onion, zucchini, fingerling potatoes with a chimichurri sauce.
That chimichurri
with a little
sauce
pesto aioli.
And the pesto aioli. Oh my goodness. So I got those 2 pieces of fish there and also the clam chowder. Phenomenal meal.
Fantastic.
So
you had a really nice, and you saw that dude out there, right?
Fred again.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know anything about Fred again. Ian is a big fan of Fred again. My son is a big fan of Fred again. So I think that I'm not the target audience for Fred again, but you got to see him while you're out there, which is kind of nice because it's a big production for Rat Race. And obviously when we have Clemmer on, we can promote the shit out of it before it comes out. And it's a big crew to make that thing go right.
I hope he's not pissed that we said that it's in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he will be. I think Roan said it on his stream today.
Okay.
So maybe Clemmer just might be really mad at me.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Because I'm on both of those.
Oh, shit, yeah.
But here's the thing. I don't think that gives away anything.
Okay.
Like, it was last year's was around the Super Bowl as well, so.
Right. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap up, right? Yeah. All right, so this was, you got to try this with myself and obviously with Ian. I just wanted to set the record straight on Five Guys versus In-N-Out and a couple other things. And I think you got a little peek inside what Ian feels like when he goes to the refrigerator. And I hope you're like me and you're not impressed at all. So we're going to leave you with that. We'll be back next week. If you guys want a little food stat on the way out, I had mentioned how many millions of hot dogs New Yorkers eat last week. I'll tell you this one. This is a surprisingly low number for me. Costco. Costco's a huge Price Club chain. And every holiday season, how many pumpkin pies does Costco sell?
A billion.
I would tell you right
I'm
now,
kidding.
they only sell 6 million. Don't you think that's a little light? Pumpkin pies for Costco? How that place moves out of there? I'm going to try to do little stats like that because I want it to be interesting. I would say that if you're at your Christmas dinner and you go around the table and you ask everyone to take a real honest guess on how many, because Costco is a national chain, I believe. I've never been to it yet. I'm going to go with Clem one of these days. 6 million pumpkin pies for some reason doesn't seem like a lot.
But maybe because people make those themselves, or they're going to a bakery or a grocery store for that.
Yeah, maybe that's. And hot dogs, you can do like 2 or 3 and you can get them anywhere. Maybe that does bring me back down to earth a little bit. All right, so Costco sells an amazing 6 million pumpkin pies every holiday season. Either way, so we'll be back next week on You Got to Try This. Please like and subscribe wherever you're listening to this right now. We appreciate your patronage as always. Check all our social things because I have a couple of really good ones coming out. We just had Cosme's. We're going to do Grand Central Oyster Bar, as I had mentioned. I had C&B downtown, which was a great pig and egg sandwich. And I have one down from Pembroke Pines, Florida, that we haven't yet done. So there's a bunch of stuff that's going to be hitting. So that's it. We'll see you next week on You Got to Try This.